Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lady Survival and welcome to the second video in my World of Warcraft Beginner's Guide series. If you're new to World of Warcraft, you've come to the right place, and make sure you check out the first video in the series if you missed it by clicking here. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my future Beginner's Guide videos, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the following topics, and make sure to use the timestamps down below to skip ahead if you would like to, and let's get into the video. Choosing your realm in World of Warcraft is a significant decision that every player must make. Several factors come into play, such as your region, time zone, preferred playstyle, and whether you plan to play with friends. In World of Warcraft, a realm or server represents a distinct instance of the game world. Players within the same realm can fully interact with one another, forming communities and engaging in activities together. While the game does offer some cross-realm technologies that enable grouping with players from other realms, certain features are exclusive to players within the same realm. For instance, some limitations may include joining a guild, trading or mailing items, and the auction house. Your chosen realm essentially becomes the home for your characters, but don't worry, you're allowed to have characters on multiple realms, so at any point if you want to make a new character on a new realm, that's totally okay, and you can see that I've done the same. So before you pick a realm, I would ask yourself these two questions. 1. Are you planning to play with friends? If so, find out what server they're on and make sure to join the same one. 2. What region/time zone are you in? You'll want to make sure you align your time zone so you can play while the server is active. You can check realm status on worldofwarcraft.com to see all the time zones associated with the realms. Now onto realm types. Blizzard has made it pretty easy to pick a server type nowadays. There used to be 4 different types of realms: PvP, PvE, RP, and RP PvP. But now on Retail WoW there is just normal and RP, with the option to toggle PvP on or off in-game with a feature called War Mode. You'll also want to consider the realm population, which can range from new players, low, medium, high, and full. I would not recommend the new players server, as these are usually completely dead and Blizzard is just trying to get new players to join them, and full is definitely not a good idea either, because you'll more than likely face a queue time just to log in. I personally always recommend low to medium servers for beginners. Additionally, when picking a server, you can consider the realm's name and aesthetic. Some players prefer realms with names that resonate with their favorite characters or themes. For example, if you admire Sylvanas Windrunner, like me, you might enjoy playing on the Windrunner realm. Once you have considered all of these factors, you can make an informed decision and select your realm. And now that you've chosen your realm, let's take a look at factions. In World of Warcraft, there are 2 factions, the Horde and the Alliance. Each faction has its own set of races you can play, and whichever character you create will determine a lot of things, such as where your character will start in the game, the zones and quests you can experience, and the other players you can interact with. While a lot of players can be die-hard loyal to one faction, you can play both sides, and in fact I recommend it as it's a great way to experience all of Azeroth, as again, there are zones and quests and stories that you won't know unless you play both sides. However, when starting out, it's generally advisable to focus on one faction until you become comfortable with your character and the game mechanics. The best way to pick your faction, in my opinion, is simply by choosing what character resonates with you. This can entirely come down to aesthetics and just what you think looks cool. Your first character is a big deal. You'll want to really love playing them, as you're going to spend a ton of hours looking at them. For example, my first character was a Night Elf Druid when I was like 10 years old. I thought the Night Elves looked really pretty, and I saw in the WoW Classic trailer that they could turn into cats, and I was sold, and I've loved them ever since. So make sure you take the time to explore the various races, experiment with customization options, and select the character that feels right for you. Once you've found your ideal character, you'll naturally know which faction you belong to. But if aesthetics alone aren't enough for you, and you want to know more about the lore and what the Horde and the Alliance stand for, then don't worry, I've got you covered. The conflict between the Horde and the Alliance traces back to the ancient history of Azeroth in the First War. It began with the arrival of the Orcs, a powerful and warlike race from the planet Draenor. Under the influence of the demonic Burning Legion, the Orcs invaded Azeroth through the Dark Portal, a gateway between 2 worlds. They waged war against the humans and other races of the Alliance. In response to the Orcish invasion, the human kingdoms, along with the dwarves, gnomes, and night elves, united to form the Alliance. They fought valiantly to protect their lands, preserve order, and defend the innocent from the chaos brought by the orcs and the Burning Legion. However, over time, the Horde underwent significant changes. Led by the orc Thrall, they broke free from the demonic influence, sought redemption, and formed a new Horde that embraced honor, strength, and resilience. The new Horde welcomed additional races including the Tauren, Trolls, Undead, Blood Elves, and Goblins, creating a diverse coalition united by their shared values and determination to secure their place in Azeroth. The Alliance, on the other hand, remains steadfast in its commitment to justice, hope, wisdom, and protecting the innocent. Comprised of humans, night elves, dwarves, gnomes, Draenei, and Worgen, the Alliance stands as a bastion of hope against the forces of darkness. They strive to safeguard their homelands, preserve their rich histories, and create a future where all can thrive in harmony and prosperity. With this knowledge, you now have a glimpse into the historical conflicts and the core beliefs that shape the ongoing struggle between the Horde and the Alliance. And now that you know a little bit about the factions, let's dive into the races and break them down even further. In World of Warcraft, both the Horde and the Alliance offers a diverse array of races to choose from. These races can be categorized into three main groups: core races, multi-faction, and allied races. The core races are the foundational races that have been present since the early days of World of Warcraft. For the Alliance, the 6 core races are humans, dwarves, night elves, gnomes, Draenei, and Worgen. And for the Horde, the 6 core races consist of orcs, undead, Tauren, trolls, blood elves, and goblins. These races have been integral to their respective factions and have a long-standing history within the game. The multi-faction races are unique in that they can be played by both the Horde and the Alliance. Currently, the 2 races in this category are Pandaren and the newly added Evokers in the Dragonflight expansion. Allied races were introduced in the expansion Battle for Azeroth and offer additional race options for players. These races have their own unique stories and can be unlocked through specific achievements and quests. For Alliance, the 5 allied races are Void Elves, Lightforged Draenei, Dark Iron Dwarves, Kultiran, and Mecha Gnomes. The Horde, on the other hand, has access to the Nightborn, High Mountain Tauren, Mag'har Orcs, Zandalari Trolls, and Volpira as allied races. Now that we've had an overview of all the races offered by both the Horde and the Alliance, let's dive into a little bit about each one individually. The human kingdom of Stormwind forms the backbone of the Alliance. Stormwind's willingness to work with others to find diplomatic solutions stands out as one of its true strengths. Its citizens hold fast to the principles of honor and justice as they defend their settlements and the Alliance against any aggressors. The bold and courageous dwarves are an ancient race descended from the earthen, titan-forged beings of living stone created when the world was young. Hailing from the mighty city of Ironforge in the snowy peaks of Khazmodan, dwarves are courageous defenders of the Alliance. The ancient and reclusive night elves, also known as Kel'Darai, have played a pivotal role in shaping Azeroth's fate. Fighting for the Alliance, many night elves today still remember events of the War of the Ancients over 10,000 years ago, when they halted the Burning Legion's first invasion of Azeroth. These ferocious elves will fight tooth and nail to ensure their sacred lands are never again tainted by evil. The clever, spunky, and oftentimes eccentric gnomes present a unique paradox among the civilized races of Azeroth. Their remarkable optimism in the face of a calamity symbolizes the truly unshakable spirit of the gnomes, and their boundless creativity and ingenuity is rivaled only by their commitment to the Alliance's cause. Fleeing the ruined world of Outland, the shattered remains of the planet once known as Draenor, the mysterious Draenei crash-landed on Azeroth, where they pledged their loyalty to the Alliance and vowed to destroy their bitter enemy, the demonic Burning Legion. In the wake of the Legion's defeat, the Draenei now seek a new destiny in the Blessed Light. Behind the formidable Greymane Wall, a terrible curse transformed many of the stalwart citizens of the isolated kingdom of Gilneas into lupine beasts known as Worgen. Unable to cure their affliction and besieged by the dreaded Forsaken, these Worgen learn to control their ferocity thanks to the help of the Night Elves. The Worgen now stand ready to unleash the beast within at a moment's notice in defense of the Alliance. Couched in myth and legend, the enigmatic Pandaren have long been a mystery to the other races of Azeroth. Pandaren who follow the path of the two She believe that there is a moral certainty to the world, one correct path of right and wrong. This philosophy strongly aligns with the ideals the Alliance represents, and as such the two She have pledged their loyalty accordingly. Created by Neltharion the Earth Warder, the essence of dragons was combined with the adaptability of the mortal races to create an elite soldier capable of switching from a draconic form to a humanoid form. Long in a magical stasis, they are now awakening to a new threat within the Dragon Isles. It is in the Forbidden Reach that the Drakthir will start their journey to reclaim their fractured memories and face a new reality. The Orcs once lived as shamanic clans on the lush world of Draenor. Corrupted by Kil'jaeden, a demon lord of the Burning Legion, they invaded the world of Azeroth. Eventually able to free themselves from the demonic influences, the Orcs settled on Kalimdor, erecting their great capital, Orgrimmar, from where they fight to find their place in the world they once came to conquer. Death offered no escape for the scores of humans killed during the Lich King's campaign to scour the living from Lordaeron. When his grasp over the Scourge faltered after the Third War, a contingent of undead broke free of their master's iron will. Calling themselves the Forsaken, they now struggle to thrive in a world that has come to despise their existence. The peaceful Tauren, known in their tongue as the Shu Hallow, have long dwelled in Kalimdor, striving to preserve the balance of nature at the behest of their goddess, the Earth Mother. Once nomadic in nature, the wandering Tauren tribes have since united and settled in their ancestral homeland of Mulgore. The proud Darkspear exiles were once on the brink of extinction, when Warchief Thrall and his mighty Horde forces were driven to the Trolls' remote island home during a violent storm. These Trolls were welcomed into the Horde and found their place among other outcast races. For thousands of years, the High Elves of Quel'Thalas drew strength from the Sunwell, a magical font of arcane energies. An invasion by the undead Scourge decimated the kingdom's population and deprived them of the Sunwell's might. Taking the name Blood Elves, or Cinderai in their own tongue, the people of Quel'Thalas sated their magical thirst for a time with demonic fell energies. Once the Sunwell was restored, the Blood Elves worked to rebuild their homeland and helped lead the Horde into a bold future. The goblins' craftiness and greed make them masters of mercantilism. Reforging old pacts with their one-time allies, the goblins of the Bilgewater Cartel have been welcomed into the Horde. Honing their inherent cunning to a razor's edge, the goblins hope to use their explosive inventions to rule the world, or at the very least own a profitable percentage of it. Couched in myth and legend, the enigmatic Pandaren have long been a mystery to the other races of Azeroth. Pandaren who follow the path of the Hojin believe that in the pursuit of a greater good, inaction is the only wrong. The Hojin believe that morals and ideals are not absolute but change with circumstances. As such, they are naturally drawn to the pragmatic Horde. So which race caught your attention? Next we'll be taking a look at all the classes available. Choosing a class is an exciting and crucial decision for new players. Whether you prefer wielding powerful spells, engaging in close combat, taking the charge and protecting your allies, or providing healing support, there is a class for you. Remember, your chosen class will greatly influence your gameplay experience, even more so than your race, so take the time to consider each class's characteristics and imagine yourself embodying its playstyle. In World of Warcraft, there are 3 roles that your character can fulfill: a tank, DPS, or a healer. A tank is a character whose primary purpose or class role is to absorb damage and prevent others from being attacked. Tanks are meat shields, so to speak, putting themselves between the mobs and the more vulnerable party members. The tank's task is to hold aggro of the mobs to keep them off of the other group members. DPS means damage per second. Damage dealers, as the name implies, are players who are responsible for dealing damage in the group. The term is almost always abbreviated as DPS, damage per second, or DPSer in the game. Every class in World of Warcraft can play as DPS with the right spec and the right gear. A healer is a character whose primary purpose or class role is to heal and protect their allies. Healers have the direct responsibility of keeping every other member of the party alive. Healers must anticipate incoming damage, prioritize the healing of multiple targets, and make split-second decisions using an array of healing options. So let's take a look at all the classes and the roles that they can perform. There are 9 classes in World of Warcraft Classic and 13 classes in Retail. Warrior. Masters of martial combat, warriors are fierce melee fighters capable of withstanding heavy damage and wielding a variety of weapons. Paladin. Holy Crusaders with a mix of melee combat and divine magic, paladins excel at protecting allies, healing wounds, and smiting enemies. Rogue. Stealthy assassins and master manipulators, rogues excel at swiftly dispatching enemies with dual-wielded weapons and employing sneaky tactics. Druid. Shape-shifting guardians of nature, druids can transform into various animal forms, utilizing versatile spells to heal, deal damage, or protect the environment. Hunter. Skilled marksmen and beast tamers, hunters utilize ranged weapons and command loyal animal companions to track down and eliminate their targets. Mage. Masters of arcane magic, mages wield destructive spells to annihilate enemies, control the elements, and conjure powerful illusions. Warlock. Dark sorcerers who command fell magic, warlocks summon demonic minions, cast curses, and drain life from their enemies to further their own power. Priest. Devoted healers and potent spellcasters, priests wield powerful light or shadow magic to mend allies' wounds or inflict damage upon their foes. Shaman. Spirit-guided elementalists, shamans commune with the forces of nature, summoning totems and wielding elemental spells to aid allies or unleash devastating attacks. Death Knight. Dark champions risen from the dead. Death Knights harness necromantic powers and wield deadly rune blades to strike fear into their enemies. Monk. Agile fighters who harness inner harmony. Monks combine martial arts prowess with spiritual energy, allowing them to heal allies, deal damage, and evade attacks. Demon Hunter. Vengeful warriors infused with demonic powers. Demon hunters utilize agility and chaotic magic to swiftly annihilate their foes and sacrifice everything for vengeance. Evoker. Evokers harness the magic of all 5 dragonflights, infusing their attacks with devastating effects. They excel in mid-range combat, using empowered spells and superior mobility to unleash fiery breath attacks or heal allies in battle. So now let's recap which classes can fulfill which roles. There are 6 classes that can be a tank: Warrior, Paladin, Druid, Death Knight, Monk, and Demon Hunter. All 13 of the classes can be DPS: Warrior, Paladin, Druid, Death Knight, Monk, Demon Hunter, Mage, Priest, Hunter, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Evoker. And there are 6 classes that can be Healer: Paladin, Druid, Monk, Priest, Shaman, Evoker. As you can see, some classes are able to perform 2 roles, and paladins, druids, and monks can perform all 3. You're able to perform different roles depending on your spec and your gear. We'll be getting more into specs and gear in a future video. But for now, this should give you an idea of what classes can perform which roles and help you to pick the type of playstyle you're looking for. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and that you learned a little bit about choosing your realm, your faction, your race, and your class. I'm really excited for the next video. We're going to be actually creating a character together and diving into the gameplay, where I'm going to be going over user interface, how to move around, how to quest, sell things, repair, and all that fun stuff, and I'm so excited to get into the gameplay. So again, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. I have so many videos planned in the future. I even plan to make videos about World of Warcraft lore in the future, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure to also join my Discord page. It'll be linked down below, as well as all of my other social media, and follow me on Instagram because that's where I mostly am other than here. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!